Hello there and welcome to another exciting edition of your favorite all-women talk show, Sister Sister, both on radio and TV. Of course, 97.3 Citi FM and Citi TV. We're really excited to come your way once again and we're hoping that you're enjoying the season. Yes, Merry Christmas to you and yours. My name is Jessica, your regular hostess for this particular program, and I'm proud to come your way once again. As you know, this show is strictly about relationships. The good, the bad, the ugly. Now, if you have questions you'd like us to ask this, to answer, this season, then you're definitely tuned in to the right channel. I'll go for a quick break. And when I come back, I'll introduce my sisters on the show today, plus how you can interact with us. And you're most welcome back, Sister Sister on Citi TV and Citi FM. So, if you have any questions that you'd like to ask us, to do with your relationship, something may be going on that you'd like a second opinion on, this is the show to send those questions into. And there are various ways that you can reach us tonight or today. And it will be via WhatsApp on 054-998-6996 or via email to jessica@citifmonline.com. Better yet, join our growing Facebook community. Search for Sister Sister Live. Drop a message, slide into our DMs and drop your message there. We guarantee all the privacy that you will need. Let's say hello to my sisters on the show tonight. And we've got Tina, Rosina and Olivia. Ladies, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Like, who was doing the bass? And
the bass. I was the bass.
Yeah.
Mine was no part.
Yours wasn't part.
No, it was no part. Like, maybe KB, but I didn't think like that.
Yeah. Tina, how are you doing?
I'm fine.
Good.
Yeah.
You look well.
I'm just saying that all those laughing at my nose and everything.
Oh, you look beautiful.
God has seen you. And the next time you see me on your screen, I will look nice.
Oh, snap!
Please. Yes,
You do look nice, actually. You're rocking this pretty well.
Yeah.
No kidding, you are.
Yeah.
But the nose is big.
Well, yeah.
In a nice way.
Well, I mean, for the purposes of this show, we can go ahead Bobby nose of sister. Anyway, Olivia, you okay?
Yes, I'm good.
All
I'm
right.
happy.
How's
I'm
the family?
excited. Yes.
Everyone okay?
Yes, everyone
Super,
okay.
super.
Thank you.
Rosie,
I'm good.
how are the Taliban people who live in your house?
They are fine.
Dante and Danica. Ooh,
They are fine.
Lord.
They are fine. They are fine. They
Yeah.
are fine.
Diary.
They are fine.
Good to know. Good to
Yeah.
know. All right, ladies, let's get right into action, shall we?
Yeah.
All right. So a message here says, my boyfriend and I have been together for a long time. Long enough to get married, but we want to be financially sound before we tie the knot. I lost my job a year ago. I was the staff of one of the insolvent banks, and we were laid off. Been searching for a job here and there, but to no avail. But my boyfriend suggested I start something on my own, thinking he would give me money to start a business, but he didn't. He was always on my neck to do something. Meanwhile, he hadn't given me anything to start with. I'm the type that doesn't ask for money, so I let it go. Then I decided to look for a job, save money, and start a business. He helped me get a job in Accra. Salary, not that attractive, but better than being at home, so I decided to do it. He lives in Spintex, and I live in Tema. So he suggested I join him for work, then go home on weekends. I've noticed that any time we're discussing accommodation after marriage, he highlights that I support him with that. He always says I need to bring something, so he adds to it in order to rent a house when we finally get married. And I get confused. I'm not against the fact that I should help, but he's kind of forcing it on me, making it a must, and it gets me worried. I know we're not married now, and living with him comes with extra expenses, and I'm ready to support him with the little I earn at the end of the month. But my major problem is he putting it to me to help with accommodation after we are married. He's a man, and I think if he's ready to marry, he should be able to provide a shelter for his wife and kids. I'm ready to go hand in hand with him to build a home with him. Am I expected to provide money for where we will live after marriage? Sisters, please advise. All right.
Okay. Let me start so that the seniors will continue. So this is what I think. When we were growing up, our parents give us some, depending on where you're coming from, they tell you what you need to hear or what they think is right. So maybe my mom told me that you don't have to do anything, just look pretty, grow up, learn, sit down, and then
you get a rich man to marry
get
you.
someone who can put a roof over your head, give you 3 square meals, take care of your kids, take care of their school fees, and you just take care of the home. But what has happened along the line is that modernity has set in, life has changed, the dynamics of life has changed, and women are working now, men are working, the struggles are almost the same, and we're all helping each other. So a lot of parents will also tell you that the woman is the helpmeet to the man. So you are not necessarily going to sponge off the man, but you're going to help him in every way you can. And it's not only by managing the affairs of the home, but it's also financially every way that you can. So for me, this is what I would say, that the dynamics have changed. So maybe the lady in question needs to, like, she's been oriented in a certain way, that the man is the head of the home. He provides the shelter, he provides everything, and she is supposed to just take care of the home and be the wife and the mother figure. Please open up your mind. Please just look around. It's not things are not the same. Your husband or your boyfriend is saying exactly what his concerns are. You understand? He's raising it with you before you get into marriage. And these are the things that you need to pay attention to. If you don't pay attention to them, that is where you have the problem. So this man is expecting that we meet ourselves halfway. Okay, I do this, I pay this kid's school fees. You provide for the house. Right. When we are going to pay rent, if it's 1,500 cedis, you pay 750. I pay 750. Just because that's why he's been pushing you to look for something to do.
Right.
Look for, if you are not getting a job, then start something on your own. He doesn't necessarily, he's a motivator, as I can see. He's not necessarily dishing you out money, but he's pushing you that move from your comfort zone, do something. Don't sit down idle. Like, he tried to get you a job and he got you a job. It's not paying you that much. So I feel that you need to reorient your mind. Know that life is not as easy as it is. You need to help out your partner. And there's nothing wrong in your partner pushing you to help in the home. There's nothing wrong. I actually think it actually gives you self-worth. That tomorrow when you stand up and you're moving, you know that the two of you brought this together.
Okay.
But there are some men who also think that if you venture into their space by providing something in the house, you've insulted them. So that's another conversation altogether. But yeah, I think there's nothing wrong with it.
All right.
Okay. So I think when you have a problem, you don't ask him. Because you had a problem with the fact that he asked you to do something about when you didn't have a job, do something rather than sit home. And then you had a problem with the fact that he didn't chip in anything, right? And it's eating you up. Now the conversation has come up regarding rent. And it has to do with money, and it's eating you up. If you are uncertain about something, and he's your partner and you're looking to settle with him, you should be able to tell him or have the conversation with him and ask him why, this is where you're coming from. You thought that, he would have given you something to support you, even though he's being the motivator. I think you have a problem with how he communicates to you. Because if he had same thing, or if he had come to you and he had said to you, in future, we're looking to mortgage a house or we're looking to rent this place. I'm I want to support, like, this is what I can do as a man, but I would appreciate it if you chipped in something and not necessarily told you to the face that he's expecting that you give X, Y, and Z. I think you have a problem with how he comes onto you demanding that you do stuff without necessarily chipping in something. And you're keeping it inside you and you're not talking about it. My thing is that if he's communicated in a way that you feel that because of how you've been oriented to think, like Tina said, that a guy's responsibility is supposed to do X, Y, and Z. So you're like, okay, why is he? If you want me to do a business, give me money to do a business. You know that I don't have money. You know that I'm not working. Where am I going to get the money from to do this business that you're saying? You're doing all the talk, but you're not motivating me in the physical ways. You're just talking. Okay, you know my situation. You know, where am I going to get the money to start this business? So besides talking, you would have expected him to say, okay, I don't have much, but this is 100 cedis, start of something. So it's like all talk, and it's all inside you. It's all bottled inside you. And now he knows, oh, you recently got this job. It doesn't pay much, but he's, again, telling you about rent situation and expecting that you foot the bill with him.
Right.
And you're thinking, he's the man, he's supposed to provide, but I'm not seeing his action. Am I really supposed to chip in something? It's how he's going about it. There's nothing wrong if you help him because at the end of the day, you're both looking to build a family for yourself. You're looking to build a home for yourself.
Right.
So it's good that you'd be able to chip in, but it's a communication gap thing. It's how he's communicating that I think you have a problem with. And if you're not happy with it, tell him about it and say it.
Rosie.
I particularly don't have a problem with how he's communicating it. I think that the problem here is her mindset. She's coming from like Tina said, a place where she feels that certain responsibilities are for the man and certain responsibilities are for the woman. My first question to her is, why was she working in the first place? Because if the bank hadn't made her redundant, she would have still been working. So why was she working? You know, and at the point that the man was dating her, the man was looking at dating a career woman or dating somebody who was also bringing something to the table. All of a sudden, you've been made redundant. Now, if the guy says you should do something, right, the guy cannot give money to what he doesn't know you want to do. So you need to come up with some plan. Okay, fine, I want to do A, I want to do B, I want to do C, I want to do D. Then he'll ask you, how much would it cost to start this business? And then he can chip in if he wants to chip in. If the man says, I want you to do something, he's not forcing you. He's just bringing to light the fact that you need to do something to complement our home. And the way she's speaking, I'm imagining that she's the kind of person who probably wants a certain kind of wedding. Because she's expecting the man to be a man to do certain things. She's the kind of person who is expecting a certain kind of home. Now, if you want that kind of home, then it needs to be us. And sometimes, you see, I don't like it when couples define, okay, this is the man, this is the... Of course, there are certain roles that are, you know, cut out for men, cut out for women. However, every marriage is different. Every union is different. Right. And the seasons are also different. So there are times when the man will come to the table and do everything. And there are times that the woman will also come to the table and has to do everything. But the most important thing is that at every point in time, both of you need to be in sync to know who is doing what. So both of you don't unnecessarily stress yourselves. So when you start thinking that this is for the man and this is for the woman, then it gets very tricky. You understand? Because let's say along the line, you are now working or the little thing that you've started is now making a lot of money. And then the man is now in your position now. Then what happens? Does it mean that the home comes to a dead end? You need to step up to the plate. Now, if you don't have that thinking mentality in this present Ghana, then you're not ready for marriage. Do you understand? You need to, your mind, yes, he's working, he's doing a lot of money, but your mindset should be there, like, you should be ready to step up when the need arises. That's why I have a problem with women who don't do anything, who just stay at home, even though it's their choice. Right. But as a woman, I keep saying that, look, a man can get up one day and say that, look, it's too much for me, I'm not doing this. But you, the woman, if you say you're not doing this, you go along with the kids, unless they are old. So just in case it is, you, the woman, need to be financially sound. I like that. I'm always coming up with all kinds of in case it is. So you, the woman, you need to be financially sound to step up to the plate, at least for your babies. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So this man is motivating to get better. Now, on the flip side, the other women who are arguing or quarreling with their men because the men are not allowing them to do certain things. This man is motivated. I mean, you want to do something, you know, and your man is trying to tell you, think out of the box, let's do this together, you're complaining.
Right.
I would rather somebody who I would do things, build a business with, do something with, be coupled with on all levels. Yeah. They know that we're in this together. You understand? So, you have gotten it and you're complaining. Somebody is also there praying for that. So, my sister, if you want something, if you don't open your mouth, you won't get it. True. It's different if you've asked for it and he's pretending not to hear. You understand? But once you've asked for it, once you haven't asked for it, you wouldn't know whether he will be able to give or not give. Yeah. So don't sit there expecting that he'll be able to give you, or he should think that he should give you. Once he says start something, you can even ask him something like what? Because sometimes you may have certain competencies or capabilities that you yourself you're not aware of. People around you need to see that, Tina, you're very good at this. Why don't you take this up? Before your mind will even get that, I can actually make a business out of this. Sure. Then you can discuss it, and then he can then invest in that venture. But once you haven't gotten past that dialogue, it becomes very difficult for the man to know what he's contributing to, how much, which area, whatever. So, my dear, marriage is not a joke. It is not for children. Thirdly, you can't foresee what happens in the next hour, much less the next month, the next year, the next decade. You can't foresee that. You can wake up one morning, everything is okay. By 12 o'clock, there's fire on the mountain. You understand? Yeah. You can wake up on fire. By midnight, everything is on a good rock. So because it's so uncertain, the thing is that in your mind, you should think that you are in this with the man together as one. Whatever it takes to make your home what it is, whatever it takes to make your home what you expect it to be, is what you work towards. Right. Not individual roles and individual, men and may say, no, that one doesn't work. Both of you should just come together and figure out what you want to do for your home. Right. Yeah.
But she said something about the fact that she finds it difficult to ask people for money.
Yeah.
So she's not the open type who can
just
openly
say,
and what she has a problem
Madam
to, she can't say. But buttressing what she said, right? You have to come to a point whereby you actually open up and talk about things. Right. If you don't open up,
this is the guy you want to be.
But even me personally, I had a problem. I know. Me personally, I have a problem asking. You know something? When you're from a home where you are the older one taking care of younger siblings, you always find yourself. It's very difficult to ask.
Yeah.
So instead of asking, you probably rather go for a loan that you're going to pay interest on. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And that one is a transaction. It's not like I'm asking. But you see, a time comes where you have to put that thing behind and ask.
But this is her
yes, I know.
So
listen, I'm just saying that I used to be like that.
It's not strange.
It's not strange. There are people like that. And sometimes it depends on how you are brought up and how you are. So you find it difficult to ask. But you can't grow up, look, listen, before you get married, let's say you're like 25, 30, 35. If you're supposed to live 70 years, for instance, you mean for the next 35 years, you can't ask your partner for anything?
It's maturity.
It's maturity. So what I'm trying to tell her is that there is no crime. Yes, so what I'm going to say, there's no crime in asking. Do you understand? My problem is that because I also don't like asking, when I ask you 1, 2, 3 times, me and Bisebium. You understand? But if you haven't attempted the one asking, you have to learn to ask. It's all part of communication. You have to learn to communicate. Let your husband know. And this asking is not just finances, so even their bedroom, you have to know how to ask.
Thank you. I agree, dear lady. I think, it's a guy you want to settle with, if he's saying go get a job. Sometimes some guys have some really amazing ideas, maybe he could even suggest something that he has observed you can do and do well. So just go out there and ask. Also, I must commend him. He actually found you a job. It may not be as good as where you were before, bank and all that, but at least it's something. And for me, that's a really positive sign. So just go all out. A couple of messages, though. Amma says it's his responsibility to provide shelter for his family, although you may support or not. Making it a must for you doesn't sit well with me at all. In the future, he may try to control your finances. If you're not comfortable with this, then take a second look at this relationship. That's what Amma says. Derek says, marriage in this generation requires both parties to bring something to the table. You can't expect him to carry all the burdens alone. As a woman, you have to prove yourself as independent. No man will be happy with a woman who depends on him solely for everything. You need to show him that your hustle is strong, and should things get difficult, he can count on your support. Ruth says, and the good book said, the man is the head and the woman a helper. I hope you know what it means to be the head. A man who doesn't understand headship is that one to a man. Red flags all over. People's comments.
No, some of the help side.
Alec Blim says, I think as a man, you should always do your best to provide for your family. You should get a house and find a wife who can help you make it a home. Ideally, he should look to take on the burden of getting accommodation himself and should not look to you. Peter says, sister, look sharp, why? It's his responsibility to provide shelter for his family and your duty to support, not provide. I think you're making him feel you have it under control. Move back to Tema. When he finally stops being a boy and becomes a man, he will do what is right. Already, he's enjoying marital benefits, so he should spend money to get what he's getting free of charge. And finally, Elijah says, I sense a red flag already. I think certain things are primarily the responsibility of a man, and if for some reason he cannot afford them, it should be communicated reasonably to his partner, and she helps if she has the means to. You already mentioned that he found it difficult to support your new business. This suggests to me a man who would find it difficult caring financially for the basic needs of his family, not because he may not have the means, but because it's just not his kind of thing. Okay, well, those are a few of your comments. We'll move on to another message here. Now it says, hello, ladies. I've been in a relationship with my boyfriend for 1 year and 9 months. I cheated because he wasn't having time for me and giving me attention. He found out and accepted a lady he claims has been asking him to be in a relationship with her. I apologized and he forgave me. He tells me he still loves me, but he can't quit with the other lady. What should I do since I still love him?
Oh. So what, they both cheated?
Yeah.
No, one cheated first.
One cheated first.
The other
lady
used a
cheated
template.
first.
The other person got a template and also cheated.
That's all. And now he's saying he can't leave the other one. So if you like, you can be the side chick.
But there goes your answer. He said he can't leave the guy, the lady. So I don't see what you will be doing in this relationship. I mean, you claim to love this person. He's gone. He's saying that he's in another relationship. He can't leave the person. So I think you should keep your feelings and emotions in check. Check out of the relationship. It's your fault. Accept it and then move on. Because really and truly.
Really and truly.
Yeah.
Okay.
But to quickly chip in, I always say that I'm just using this as an opportunity to sort of, I don't know, reach out to people in relationships that usually when you're in a relationship, I ask that you see the relationship as something that's heading somewhere, and then you build habits over time. Because if you're in a relationship and then you feel your partner isn't giving you attention and you think that I don't think there's any reason or excuse for you to cheat. That's where I'm coming from. And once you think it's okay to cheat while you're in a relationship, after the day that you say I do, it becomes extremely difficult because you're not used to you're not used to being faithful. So just treat every relationship that you're in with the respect that it requires, what's the word I'm looking for? The faithfulness that it also requires and the love that it requires. You never know. While you're doing that, you're building yourself to become a much better person and a much empathetic person. So please always attach some importance to your relationship.
My thing is, usually when you're in a relationship and then within the first 2-3 months, you maybe because it's not solidified, you probably don't know what you want. But you've been in a relationship for 1 year, 9 months. That's almost 2 years. At that time, you should know whether you really want the man or not, whether you love the man or not. And if you truly think that you love that person, you have no business cheating on that person. Now, the only reason, and you are the lady, for a lady to cheat on a man, it means that you've checked out emotionally. That's what I think. You know, if you're with a man that you care about, maybe in the beginning, because you're not seeing the thing well, maybe you don't know where your eggs are at, you are playing here, playing here, playing there, it can be understandable. But the moment you are with one person for 1 year, 9 months, it's a good enough time to know whether this is the person I really want to be with or not. Now, once this is the person you really want to be with, what business do you have cheating? And I don't know. And after you've cheated on a man, sometimes at the point that the man has realized that you have cheated, you should start planning your exit. That's what I think. You should mentally, you should go like, hey, okay, he has accepted the apology, but don't expect things to be the same. It's two things. You either spend the rest of your relationship or whatever it is working hard to prove yourself that you're now worthy of his trust, or you check out. Now, you've allowed him to go and taste something. Now, the thing that he has gone to taste, it is sweetening him. Thank you. So now he doesn't want to come back, or he's been bold enough to tell you that I can't leave the other one. And for me, I don't know what is more disrespectful than that. If a man tells you, like you say, okay, you are with this person, and the man says, I can't leave the other one. That's all. It means that you are no more important in his life. You are no more. You see, when it comes to relationships, and for the sake of the relationship, you should be able to make certain compromises and sacrifices around it. The man has told you that I can't stop with the other person. It means that you are not important anymore. And the apology, he probably gave it to you to make you comfortable, for him to teach you a much more bitter lesson than you taught him. So, my dear, if I were you, emotionally detach yourself and then walk out. It's not a relationship that you should be in. And then you learn from it. The next time you're in a relationship,
Don't cheat.
thank you. Or maybe you follow Olivia, so don't drop your knickers.
Yes, don't drop it.
All right. Well, it's Sister on Citi TV and 97.3 Citi FM. Don't forget your comments are welcome on our WhatsApp number 054-998-6996. We'll go for a commercial break. When we return, more of your messages. And you're welcome back to Sister on Citi TV and 97.3 Citi FM with me, Jessica. Of course, in the studio, Rosina, Olivia, and Tina are all here. Now, more of your messages coming through. Don't forget, you can also send an email to jessica@citifmonline.com. A message from Richmond. Now, he says he's 28 years, lives in Russia, but he's from the Volta region. About 8 months ago, my mom introduced me to a lady in Kumasi. She's 25 years old, a pupil teacher for 2 years now. She's lived in Kumasi Central all her life. This distance relationship started well, but after about 3 months, I began to feel some disconnection between her personality and profession. A month ago, I visited Ghana, all because I wanted to know her better before taking the relationship to the next level. I must admit, she's very good and humble, has the basic elements of a wife material. I rented a place for her near the school she teaches, so I spend most of my time with her there. My problem, however, is that she has a local, primitive Asante style of life or lifestyle. She makes certain comments such as, our future kids must speak only my language because I'm their mother. Our children will stay with my mum for 5 years, from 5 years going, because it's their grandmother, or she's their grandmother. We argued about all this, but to no avail. Due to this, I wanted to know her better because she keeps on making tribalistic comments that Gas and Ewe people are this or that. One happy day, we were talking and I intentionally asked her opinion on Ga and Ewe people. To my surprise, she said Gas are not Ghanaians and that they're based in Ivory Coast. Ewes are also based in Benin. Those staying in Ghana are all foreigners. We argued about this for about an hour and I gave up because I didn't want to create a scene. I once asked her of Bono people, can you believe she has never heard of that tribe? The other issue is that as someone who has risen through the educational system from primary to training college and now is a primary 4 teacher, her English grammar is terrible. I couldn't further my education after JHS, but I always correct her lesson notes. I even prepared the notes occasionally. Anytime I pass around her school, I forget she's my girlfriend and ask myself what she teaches the children because they could be my nieces and nephews. I returned to Russia last week and I've been thinking about this relationship seriously. I'm not searching for a graduate to marry, but for someone who's a teacher and can't write appreciable English, it's hard to deal with. Moreover, she's close to our other cultures and ways of life. All she knows is Asante people. Please, I need your help on whether to continue this relationship or not.
Now,
This is a very, very
very interesting. Very
But you
interesting.
see,
And there are a lot of people like that.
Yeah, as much as we're all laughing or giggling here and there, it's a very serious situation. There are a lot of people like this, and it's not only an Ashanti girl. It could be an Ewe girl, a Ghana girl. Maybe when you were given birth to, you haven't been anywhere.
No exposure, yep.
No exposure. You haven't been to Kumasi before. You haven't been to the Volta region before. All you know is Accra. Maybe around the Bukom Arena, and that's where you live. And you don't know anything. Like, it's not like you don't know about other people. And these are the kinds of people that get a lot of clashes with people who have lived abroad, because now the exposure that your partner has abroad is way bigger than the little that you have seen around you. And let's not take for granted, exposure actually enriches your education, your way of thinking, your way of speaking and relating to other human beings. So, in your case, I will not say much. I think you know what to do. It's just that your mom hooked you up, or maybe you also feel like, okay, I need to come back home, see somebody, get somebody, and live my life with. You are not judging her per se. It's just you relating to her has shocked you to the core. That, why would someone behave this way or think this way or even communicate with me this way? You're dealing with shock now. Right?
yeah.
I think you should just take it in. I know, Rash. I know you will leave her. I think eventually you would leave her, and you sound like a reasonable person, and you would know how to do it and let her down gently and not do it in a bad way. But then, yes, this is the hard truth of life. You can try as much as possible to let her know that there's a bigger world out there than the little that she sees. You can try to be her friend, like you're preparing lesson notes and stuff for her because she doesn't speak English properly, even though she's a pupil teacher. And trust me, all these people have been passed. Maybe her teacher couldn't even speak proper English and has been passed, through passport A, B, C, D, gotten the objective questions correctly and passed school and gotten to pupil teacher, and now she thinks she's all that. I think the solution to this is to let her down gently. Don't try to educate her as well. That's what I think. Like, be her friend, because I think she doesn't really. Okay, let me just leave it. Like, she's ignorant, but she's very
confident in her ignorance.
Her ignorance, and that can kill.
Yeah.
Those people, like, anything you say, like, they are still in their points. So there's nothing much you can do, really. There's nothing much you can do.
Okay, Libby.
You know, what could have made the difference would have been if she was open to learn from you. She was open to the suggestions you were coming up with. But she's closed and she's very opinionated, and it's been working for her all these years, and you are like a tiny fraction, someone who like literally has walked into her life. So I only want to ask you one question. As a guy, what kind of future do you actually see with this lady? I mean, you live in Russia right now. you're growing and growing, you're going to your circle of friends. If you do marry her and the lovey-dovey thing passes and she's supposed to be your wife, somebody that you can show off, somebody that you'll be confident about, and somebody you can be proud about. And I love your heart, and I love where you're coming from, because you are also saying that it's not like you're expecting to marry like a graduate or somebody who's extremely sophisticated, because you're ready and willing to help her catch up with you or grow and come and meet you. But she's not willing. So she clearly can't see your picture or where you're coming from. And that's no fault of hers. But I only wish that she would have been open to learn from you. So, I mean, like Tina said, what future do you have in mind for yourself? What kind of wife do you want? Does she fit in? After a few years' time, would you be happy that you actually married her when the love is not at its peak? Right. What do you want? So sit down and ask yourself that question and reflect. And I think that would help you decide what you want. But by all means, I mean, you can clearly try and help her if you want to. I mean, it's not by force, right, but you can try and help her to sort of open up her scope. That is, if she would allow you. But for now, decide what you want. I wouldn't go all up front and say break up with her, but I think you need to ask yourself certain pertinent questions to be able to make that informed decision.
I want to take it from a tribal point of view. Now, when you look at a typical Ashanti person, Ashanti person, how many of them can speak other Ghanaian local languages apart from Twi?
Not a lot.
Not a lot. No matter, and when you look at Ashanti people who have traveled outside, are living in the US, UK, wherever, they still speak Twi in their homes outside. Yeah. Put an Ewe Gan man outside, they will come back and they can't speak Ewe, they can't speak Gan. But put an Akan person, an Akan family anywhere from Holland to, in fact, they've branded certain streets in certain places, Ghanaian streets, just by virtue of the Twi language. Now, tribally, I think that the Akans are people who do not entertain change very much. Language is Twi. The person they respect most is who? Their leader. If the president says, "Hey, Kafeneke," as soon as Asantini speaks and say, "Don't do this," everybody doesn't do. Do you understand? I think that this is how they are. So you need to understand the tribes you are dealing with. If you are dealing with a Ghana, don't think that you'll be so adventurous to be traveling all over the place, because they just don't like travel.
You want to be...
They want to be in the center of town. If it's Jamestown is Bukom. If it's Labadi. If it's like, they don't want to travel. So sometimes when you're getting into these relationships, you need to understand the very innate nature of the people. Now, Miaman Ewe, I mean, when we're growing up, we were told severally that we are from Togo. We are not even Ghanaians. We been joining Ghana. I mean, think about it. Even when it comes to elections, there's this brouhaha about our cousins from Togo coming to come and join. You understand? Yeah. It's normal. We ourselves, we know that our origins come from Benin somewhere. So, and beyond even the Gans, we know that some migrated. I mean, recently there was a show on Citi where they were talking about where people came. I think Avile, one of the, You realize that the Gans have similarities with people all the way in Nigeria and all of that. Yeah. So we all know that people have migrated. You understand? Even the accounts themselves, they've migrated, but they don't even know that they've migrated. So the thing is that, look, you are the one who has traveled and your mind is open. Now, I don't think this woman's mind is so closed. You see, somebody whose mind is closed will not allow you to correct her lesson notes and take the correction. Because on him. Let me finish. Let me finish. Listen, you said you yourself, you didn't go to school beyond GSS. This girl has gone to school through training college. She trusts in herself. If she's somebody who trusts and has confidence in her ignorance, who are you, GSS leaver, to come and correct me at Meko University? Think about it. It's not like the man has also finished uni or tertiary or some tertiary level that he's come to correct you. So all I'm saying is that, yes, it's her ignorance that is loud. But it doesn't mean that she's not up for correction. You asked her a question, what is her opinion about guns and airways? And she gave you her opinion.
Right.
You understand? It doesn't mean that with a bit of education, that opinion cannot change. And then if you understand the tribe she's coming from and the way they think, then you know how to address it. Now, most likely, you are in Russia. You can't live in Russia and your wife will be here in perpetuity. Most likely, you probably come and carry her along to Russia. Why is the mother-in-law that should go and carry your child at 5 years to go and live with the mother-in-law?
So what if he decides to come back to Ghana?
No problem. But I'm saying that there are certain things and you can work your way around it. Maybe when the child is even 5, you are praying. If your mother-in-law is alive, that is
some weekends.
Some weekends, you say you can have your peace of mind. Look, it's not easy living with toddlers. So if you have a grandmother who can take care of your children, and I believe that I didn't have the opportunity to grow with my grandmothers. People who grew up with their grandmothers, I think that they have something special about them. Sometimes I envy the fact that they grew up with their grandmothers. The way they think, some of them, they think deep. They even just say, I don't know, I didn't have that opportunity. I wish I had grown up with at least one grandmother. So if you'll be surprised, say, the child will be 4 or 5, and now should have been exposed with you, and she may even be thinking differently, and she may be championing the change even more than you. She's not exposed. She hasn't gone anywhere. She's living in the same 18. What she knows is what she knows. Yeah. Maybe get her some form of exposure. See how she responds to change outside of her usual environment. Then you can start thinking whether she can change or not. My problem is that, look, when you ask questions, be ready for honest answers. You asked her, what is your opinion about A? She gave you. That's the honest thinking. And how else do you want her to think? That's what she knows. She's not been exposed. So unless you take her to certain places, for you to see whether she's open to other opinion in terms of conversation. If you're arguing about Ghana Airways, where they come from, that kind of argument, it has no end. Because her history books tell her that Airways crowd came from Wachi in Togo. So how can you tell me that it's in the history books? Do you understand? So it's something that she has learned. So for you to take a fine, they've gone and come back, but now we are Ghanaians. So like a Ghana. So let her speak to other people. Take it out of her comfort zone. You guys, when the kids are on vacation, you can even come to Accra, for instance. Let her see what goes on in other places. And you see, but all said and done, because you live far away and now you are doing long distance, maybe you may not have opportunity to take her through this process, and you're probably in a hurry to settle. So you don't want to settle knowing all these things. But by all means, give it a try. Try to get her out of her comfort zone. Try to expose her to other people. Maybe, and sometimes, you see, when something is coming from your partner, it doesn't sit well. Sometimes it needs to come from an outside source. It's like teaching your husband or your wife how to drive. No. Yeah. Oh, Olivia.
Olivia smiled.
Oh, stop that.
Okay.
Continue.
It's very difficult because see, when somebody you are involved with is talking, and sometimes it sounds like noise. Let a third party randomly say the same thing your partner has been saying. It sits like wisdom. So sometimes maybe it's because, and you two, you are talking because you are exposed. You expect her to be where you are. So, oyen in your manner, how could you think like that? How can you just imagine? No, hold on, really? So the shock is hitting you, and you're not making any room for somebody else's, opinion or the way they are. Now, when it comes to marriage, I keep saying that, look, no two people are the same. Even twins, they are not the same. So you can't expect to be with somebody who thinks like you, does things like you, behaves like you, does everything the way you expect it to be done. It's constant communication over time. Then maybe one day you get to a state where you're in some form of an equilibrium, where you've accepted the partner, how he or she is. Both of you have done some compromises up to a certain level, and both of you are now living like, okay, yeah, I know her, she knows me, she's done this for me, so I've done this for her, and you are now living in complete harmony. But it's a process, you need to get there. So I will not say that, this is something that's not workable, this is not something that you can be in. It's something that you can be in, but you need to take your time and go through the grind. If after trying to expose her, communicating with her and all of that, and she's still in her zone, then by all means don't get into it, because you're going to give yourself constant heart attacks. But you'll be surprised. that there are people I know who are so typical in thinking. Almost to kind 1, 2. Now, when they are coming, they are more than the bloggers who have been there for 25 years.
Yeah.
I know personal experiences.
Right.
So just give her a bit of time to see what happens.
Right. Yeah. I kind of agree with Rosine. I think everybody deserves, a chance. And exposure can do
deal.
wonders for people, and if you don't know, you don't know. And if you know, you know. So, maybe you want to give her some kind of exposure. You're in Russia. Let her come visit you if you have the means or it's possible. And you never know. She might, be opened to a whole different worldview, and your relationship just might thrive. So good luck with that. A message here says, I'm a 30-year-old guy hustling my butt off to make ends meet, planning to find myself in the USA someday. I met this man, 52-year-old, on Facebook almost 3 months now. He's from the USA, and we've been good friends since. And we've talked enough about life. He recently intended to help me get a US visa and later secure a job there. He requested for all my necessary documents, and I sent it to him. We're almost through with the visa processing, and I have barely 3 weeks to get on a flight. Per my conversation with him yesterday, he disclosed to me that he is gay and that he's interested in me. Now, my point is, I'm not gay and I don't want to be gay. Should I tell him that I'm not interested? Which I'm afraid if I do, he might cancel the flight or wait until I get to the USA.
Wait.
No insults. Please, I need advice.
Wait.
You wait, eh? Charlie, you run away and go where?
Hey, Charlie. You know how, you dream, you so dream of doing something, then it comes to your doorstep
with conditions,
and then you realize the conditions at the very tail end of it. Charlie.
Oh wow!
You see, someone, I won't reveal who, but somebody has ever told me that if I could get some men's money to chop, I should chop it and run away. And I've done some before.
You've done some before? You mean you ran away?
See, let me tell you something. This is what I will give a lighter side of this. I think that you are the tail end of the thing. You have 3 weeks to go. I don't know if you know anybody in America. I don't know.
Like contact somebody, get there, then take your things and run away.
Somebody in America. I don't know why you've been wishing to be in America. Maybe you know people, you have contacts or whatever. If you do, you go. Confidence, pray, go. You'll be fine, and run away and go. Seriously, but don't be gay. I beg. No, okay.
No, he's not. He says he's not. That's why it's a problem. If he was, I'm sure it wouldn't have been an issue.
So if you don't want to be, don't be. But if you go and you go to this man,
Charlie,
there's no way.
Get ready.
Master, you at least one day you collect. So please. So please, I beg you. If you have a plan and you have somebody there, I think you should go. Charlie, 3 weeks. It's not easy.
Hey.
Yeah.
Unless you eat Gary here.
Wow. It's a tough one, actually. It's a tough one. Because, you see, this whole thing.
She doesn't even know what to say.
I don't know what to say. This whole thing about, especially dealing with people over the internet, you don't know who they are. You don't know. You don't know the true self. You don't know what's behind their minds. They could be killers. They could be anybody. Anybody. They could be human trafficking. They could be involved in human trafficking, like 1,000,001 things. This person could actually be working on selling you to the next person for so much money. It's scary. It's very scary. Do you have a visa already, or are you about to? So in 3 weeks you get to travel. Since you're so desperate to travel, right? before, I think your whole mind. This is where sometimes I always.
Charlie. So Olivia said like 5,000. Very.
Because like if you really look at the situation, like T is saying, they're probably drinking Gary. They don't know where the next food is going to come from. They're thinking, okay, America is the land of opportunities, and really, it can be. Cut a long story short. Okay, if you get there, just don't be gay. Don't be gay. Okay, wait. Get there.
So he should go.
Wait, no, hold on.
So
yes,
he
go.
go.
I would suggest that he goes, right? But before he goes, make contacts. Reach out to other people that you know, so that should something happen, you have support. You need to have a plan B. This person, you can't put all your eggs in one basket. So try and make sure that you have other opportunities. Save up, get some money whereby,
3 weeks.
Save up some more money. You never know. Find some more money so that should something happen, you can quickly move from that state and go to another state. You need a plan B. Right. But for now, fine. The other thing could be maybe he's a genuinely good person. The only thing is that he's gay. Don't do the whole gay thing. And I think you should tell him. That you are not gay.
Are you okay? You should tell him when before he leaves or when he gets there.
Should he say that he's gay before
he
goes? He's not gay.
Okay, so fine. Reach out to other people. Reach out to other people in the US. People, and call them and tell them that, oh, you are coming, right? And call the guy and say, oh, because technically has the guy mentioned he's gay, but he
said he's interested in him.
He said he's interested in him. That's why he's helping him to come.
Of course, but it
so
is
I mean,
I don't know, Rosie, take your time.
To start with, the internet is just a scary place. And this is the thing, when I have a problem with people who are just waiting. He's 30. You are just waiting for America. For America. Why?
Please.
You see, if you are waiting for America, it can be your dream. But do something here. Now, people who are desperate to do something, the smell of desperation, that's why people can throw almost anything at you. That's the start. Now, when you said, you guys met on anything, you've been talking. So the whole time you were talking, you never mentioned anything about some girl, you never mentioned anything about anything, you also never mentioned anything, and you assumed
talking about life.
So in your life,
talking about
at 30 years, you never mentioned about where you had this girl or you had this. So nothing came up for you to know. That means all you were doing was America. And I'm sure that desperation came through. All the man saw was, Charlie, this is a boy in need who wants to come to America. Let me help him and get some fresh.
Maybe he's
and
nice.
fresh thinking about girls.
No, fresh distance to come and distance. Now this is it.
To break.
Yes.
Break the virgin.
So that I kind of saw that video.
Charlie.
But the thing is,
but the man who hurts the guy.
Now, if I think of the process, you go through the whole visa process and everything. Yes, we try to take it out. And this is the case. You have to help yourself. Within 3 weeks, it's a lot of time
Buy your own
to look for somebody there who could accommodate you. Look for one reason or another why you cannot travel in that 3 weeks. Or don't even mention it to him, just don't get onto the flight. Either that, when you don't get onto the flight, let the guy know that, something came up. Because the embassy will not give you a visa for 1 day. They'll give you a visa for at least 6 months. So you can eat two things. If the day you're supposed to travel 3 weeks, get money, buy another ticket sooner on a different airline. So you get there in 2 weeks instead of 3 weeks. Look for somebody else and go there. Or for a crowd, phone and go through. Do you understand? I'm trying to be smart here. So you don't have to travel on the day that they get. Because if you travel on that day, he's going to meet you with flowers at the airport. He's going to carry your luggage with you, your handbag. You're going to sit in his car. He's going to drive to the house. And because you don't know the American, if you're not walking, you may not even know a point of exit, how to call for help, how to even get a cab. And America is not like London, where you can just get up and take any train and move around. In America, depending on which state you are going, where in the state you are going, you need somebody with a car to move you from one point to another. So, my dear, don't fall into this trap.
No.
It's two things.
Don't go.
Either you forgo and don't go at all,
He has to go.
or play along. If you want to be, play along. Like, oh yeah, you are going. Oh yes, I'm coming. Oh, I'll be coming. I'll be coming. Then you buy your own ticket. You don't even cancel that ticket. When you cancel, to send signals.
Yeah.
I'm sure he bought a ticket for you, so he's monitoring the ticket.
What if he doesn't have money to buy the ticket?
That's why I'm saying that this is where you help yourself.
Yeah.
It's two options:
for it,
being initiated into gayism
In
and
style.
yeah, and
In America.
and going to your America that you so dreamed about. So one of the two. So if you have to look for some extra 3,000 or 4,000 cedis just to buy another ticket, this is your time to put in all your energy. I'm sure with your visa in place, if you tell someone, I've got my visa, but this is what the guy is planning, I'm sure there are like so many people who will be willing to just support you, help you to outsmart this guy who is trying to put you in a trap that you're not comfortable in. So my dear, get a different date.
Yeah.
Preferably before the date of organized travel. And go kode. Now he'll be calling you, he can WhatsApp you 1212. Oh, Charlie, I couldn't make it so because all the time you are WhatsApping, friend, you're already there. Do you understand? Then after some time, the phone just goes off.
That's
all.
And then you start using your
All right.
yeah.
Unfortunately, we're at the end
Oh, we will go.
of the show. But this is what I'll say to the guy. This is what I will say to the guy. And listen, it seems or sounds like America is the place to be. But
Nobody
it
will
really
believe you.
isn't all that.
Exactly.
Let me just tell you, it really isn't all that. And so, yeah, I know you have dreams and whatever, you want to go to the USA. But Charlie, this one day, the cost is very high.
Very high.
You know, and there's so many things that can happen. Let's say you don't even go on this day. The guy can call immigration at some point just to mess you up. So, yeah, you will get to the airport, all right, though, but you won't enter the city. You understand? So I think just it's a bad idea to start with. You know, the opportunity will come. And when it comes, then you can embrace it properly. But this opportunity, it's not for you. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. And ladies, thank you for your time, as always, for coming through, Sister. Season's greetings to you and yours, guys. We hope you have a fabulous Christmas and New Year as well. My name is Jessica. Take care and bye-bye.